Getting your new business noticed online. It can feel like trying to catch lightning in a bottle.
Oh, definitely. It's noisy out there.
Yeah, and building a real brand from scratch on social media. Well, it isn't just about having profiles up. It's really about cutting through that endless scroll and, making a genuine connection.
Exactly.
So whether you're maybe at square one staring at those empty profile fields, or perhaps you're posting pretty regularly but feel like you're just shouting into the void,
Uh-huh.
this deep dive is really designed for you.
Right.
Think of it as us trying to distill down the essentials, the things you need to build a social media presence that actually makes an impact.
And it's worth saying, this stuff takes time. It takes effort.
Absolutely. Now, we know building this takes time, serious effort. But if you're wanting to maybe speed things up a bit, give things a nudge, you could check out rapidboost.net. They have tools, strategies, to give your social profiles a real jumpstart.
Good point. It's an option for accelerating things.
Right. So, okay, let's unpack the very first absolutely crucial step, laying a solid foundation for your social media success.
Absolutely. Before you even think about that first post, that first image, you really need a clear sense of what you're actually building on.
Okay.
Social media success isn't really about luck. It's much more about being intentional. And, well, that starts with really understanding your why.
The why. Okay, that sounds fundamental, like
Mhm.
almost the DNA of your business, yeah. It's not just the products or services.
Precisely. Not just what you sell, it's the core reason your business exists, beyond making a profit. What are the fundamental values driving you? What specific problem are you solving for people?
Mm.
Articulating this core mission, it basically acts as your compass online. It guides all your content, your interactions. Like, think about a sustainable fashion brand.
Okay.
Their why probably goes way beyond just selling clothes. It might be about promoting ethical production or fostering transparency in the fashion industry, maybe empowering conscious consumers.
Right, towards eco-friendly choices?
Yeah. Exactly. That clarity, that purpose is what resonates with their ideal audience. It distinguishes them.
That makes total sense. It gives the brand a real, authentic core. So for you listening right now, the first deep dive is maybe into your own business's heart. What's that central driving force?
Exactly. Get that clear first. And once you have a firm grasp on your why, the next really pivotal piece is understanding who. Who are you trying to reach with that message?
Ah, so it's not just a vague idea of potential customers. We need to get really specific, granular.
Absolutely. You need to paint a detailed picture. Think about their demographics, sure, age, location, but go much, much deeper. What are their specific interests?
Okay.
What are their core values? What does their daily life actually look like? The more nuanced your understanding, the better equipped you are to create content that genuinely speaks to them.
And I guess also to use the targeting tools on the platforms effectively.
Crucially, yes, that's a huge part of it. Knowing the audience lets you leverage those tools so you're not just broadcasting randomly.
So, if I'm that local bakery specializing in organic sourdough,
Yeah.
my ideal customer might be someone, say, 30 to 55, living within maybe 5 miles,
Yep.
interested in healthy eating, supporting
Yeah.
local businesses, maybe even, dabbling in home baking themselves.
Precisely. That level of detail is gold. It informs not just your content, but also your platform selection, which naturally leads us to the next key element, choosing the right digital spaces. Where do you focus your energy?
Right, because trying to be on every platform when you're just starting out, that sounds like a recipe for burnout.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Yeah.
And probably not much impact either. Spreading your resources too thin is such a common early mistake.
So be strategic.
Be strategic. You need to identify where your ideal customer, the one you just pictured, actually spends their time online. Different platforms, they just naturally attract different types of people, and different content works better.
Okay, so let's maybe break down some of the main players. Where do different types of businesses typically fit?
Sure. So if your brand is really visual, think fashion, beauty, travel, food,
Mm-hmm.
even those delicious sourdough loaves.
Yeah.
Then platforms like Instagram and increasingly TikTok, they're often excellent starting points. Very visual, very engaging.
Okay.
LinkedIn, on the other hand, that's the professional hub, right? So it's ideal for B2B businesses, consultants, professional services.
Makes sense.
Facebook still has incredibly wide reach. It can be great for local businesses, building community, engaging a broader audience. And then you've got Pinterest.
Ah, Pinterest.
Yeah, it's a powerhouse for visually driven niches like lifestyle, home decor, food inspiration, recipes, DIY projects. Very discovery focused.
That's a really helpful overview. And you mentioned earlier, it probably makes sense to see where your competitors are having success too.
Absolutely. Do some research. See where your competitors are active, but more importantly, where are they getting real engagement? Not just posting, but actually interacting. That can give you valuable clues.
But the main takeaway is focus, right?
Focus is key. It's far, far more effective to really concentrate your initial efforts on nailing, say, 2 or 3 platforms where your ideal audience hangs out, rather than having a weak, half-hearted presence everywhere.
Okay, got it. So we figured out our why, we've identified our who, and we have a strategic idea for where. Now,
Yeah.
how do we actually look and sound online?
Yeah.
The brand identity stuff.
Exactly. This is where your brand starts to feel, tangible online. And consistency here is just paramount. Absolutely paramount.
It's so crucial.
You want people to develop an instant recognition for your content. Even if they don't see your name or logo right away, they should feel it's you.
Like recognizing a friend's style. So visually, what are the key pieces we need? The non-negotiables.
Well, your logo is obviously the cornerstone, but think beyond that. Your cover photos, your profile pictures, these are like your digital shop window.
Right.
And then there's the overall look and feel of the graphics you use in your posts, your videos. The sources often mention tools like Canva or Adobe Spark.
Yeah, I've used Canva. Pretty user-friendly.
Exactly. They're fantastic for creating professional-looking visuals without needing, a design degree.
It is not just having a logo and some pictures, it's making them all feel cohesive, connected.
Precisely. Sticking to a defined color palette, maybe 2 or 3 main colors and some accents. Using similar filters or editing styles on your images. Selecting easy-to-read, consistent fonts.
Okay.
All these things are vital for building that visual coherence. Think about brands that have absolutely nailed this, like Glossier with their signature pastel pinks, that minimalist vibe.
Instantly recognizable.
Or Gymshark, bold, high-energy, fitness-focused visuals. You just know it's them. They have a clear visual language.
Yes, it's like their visual signature. And I guess that extends to how they communicate in writing, too.
Yeah.
The brand voice.
Exactly. Your brand voice is the personality that shines through in your captions, your replies, everything you write. How do you want to sound?
So, are you casual and approachable?
Hmm.
Or more formal and authoritative, maybe funny? Or maybe like a helpful advisor?
Yeah, you need to decide. The idea of imagining your brand as a person can be really helpful here.
Oh, interesting. Like, if my brand walked into a room, what would its personality be?
Exactly. What kind of person would best resonate with your target audience? Would they connect with someone witty and playful? Or maybe supportive and encouraging? Or perhaps highly professional and informative?
Okay.
Once you have that persona in mind, you can start defining the specific do's and don'ts for how you write. Your captions, your responses to comments, all those written interactions.
So going back to my sourdough bakery, if the brand persona is the friendly neighborhood expert, I probably want to avoid like super technical baking jargon or a really corporate stuffy tone.
Exactly right. Keep it consistent with that persona. And to make sure everyone stays consistent, especially as you grow, the source material really highlights creating a style guide.
Right. That sounds maybe intimidating, like a huge document.
Doesn't have to be. Even a simple, concise outline is incredibly useful. Just list your key brand colors, your approved fonts, how to use the logo correctly, the desired tone of voice.
Maybe some example phrases.
Yeah, example phrases, relevant hashtags you use regularly, examples of the types of images that fit your brand. Just having that reference keeps everything aligned.
Okay, that makes sense. So we've crafted our look, our sound. Now, the big one. What do we actually post? The content strategy. What, when, how?
This is where all that foundational work, the why, the who, the where, the identity, really starts to fuel what people see from you. Your content strategy needs to flow directly from that.
So it shouldn't feel random.
Definitely not. It should feel purposeful. And a really effective way to organize this is by identifying your content pillars.
Content pillars. Okay, what exactly are those? Like core topics?
Think of them as maybe 3 to 5 core themes or subjects that you'll consistently talk about. They form the backbone of your content, they give you structure, and honestly, they help prevent that panic of, what do I post today?
Yeah, I know that feeling. So for our local sourdough bakery again, what might their pillars be?
Okay, so maybe. Pillar 1, the art of sourdough tips, techniques, myth-busting. Pillar 2, community stories featuring local suppliers or customers. Pillar 3, behind the scenes showing the baking process, introducing the team. Pillar 4, health and ingredients talking about organic flour, fermentation benefits.
I see. So these pillars become the main buckets all their posts fall into.
Yeah.
Gives a really clear framework.
Precisely. And within those pillars, it's really vital to mix up your content formats. Don't just post the same type of thing all the time.
Why the variety? Does it help reach?
Variety keeps your audience engaged, definitely. And yes, different formats often reach different people or perform better at different times. The algorithms like variety too.
Okay, so what kind of mix should we aim for? What are the options?
Well, you've got short form video things like Instagram stories, Reels, TikToks. They're fantastic for quick tips, behind the scenes moments, personality, maybe flash promotions.
Quick and snappy.
Yeah. Then you have more in-depth educational posts, maybe infographics, how-to guides, answering common questions related to your pillars, real value ads.
Right.
Live streams are great for direct interaction. Think Ask Me Anything sessions, product demos, maybe collaborating with someone else live.
Ooh, live can be scary but powerful.
It can be. And definitely don't underestimate user-generated content or UGC.
That's when customers post about you.
Yeah, reposting photos or videos from happy customers with their permission. Always get permission.
Crucial point, yeah.
It builds incredible social proof. It shows real people love what you do. It fosters that community feel.
Okay, permission secured. Then there's the practical side, timing and frequency. How often should you actually be posting? Is there a magic number?
You know, consistency really beats sheer volume, especially when you're starting out. Aiming for maybe 3 to 5 quality posts per week per platform you've chosen is often a good, manageable starting point.
So don't burn yourself out trying to post multiple times a day immediately.
Please don't. Quality and consistency first. And to make that happen, definitely look into scheduling tools. Things like Buffer or Later let you plan and create content in batches.
Oh, batching is smart.
Yeah, write your captions, prep your visuals, and then schedule them to go out at optimal times. It's a lifesaver for staying consistent without being glued to your phone 24/7.
Good tip.
Uh,
Okay, and the captions themselves, the words that go with the pictures or videos,
Yeah.
they're important, right? Not just an afterthought.
oh, absolutely not an afterthought. A great visual might stop the scroll, but a well-crafted caption is what pulls people in, makes them think, encourages them to actually engage.
So what makes a good caption?
Tell a story. Ask questions, get people talking in the comments. Share a bit of the human side of your business, your journey, challenges, successes. Vulnerability can be connecting. And make sure that very first sentence grabs them, hook them in. And always, always include a clear call to action, or CTA.
Tell people what you want them to do next.
Exactly. Ask them to leave a comment, like the post, share it, visit your website, answer a question, guide them.
Okay, so engaging content is vital. But the ultimate goal you often hear isn't just getting followers, it's building a real community. How do you actually foster that sense of belonging?
Yeah, this is where you shift from just broadcasting at people to actually engaging with them, building relationships. And a cornerstone of that is listening and responding quickly.
I remember seeing a stat somewhere. Something like 40% of people expect a response within an hour. That
Yeah.
seems intense.
It is pretty staggering, yeah. Now, an hour might not always be feasible, especially for a small team or a solopreneur, but the effort to reply to all comments, all direct messages, especially when you're starting out, that builds incredible loyalty.
People feel heard?
They feel seen, valued, their interaction was acknowledged. It matters.
So, okay, responding is key. What about proactively creating that community vibe?
Running interactive things is great. Contests, campaigns. Think about simple giveaways. Tag 2 friends to win. Or run polls in your stories asking opinions. Themed challenges related to your niche can be huge.
Like the example of a fitness coach running a 7-day home workout challenge.
Perfect example. Gets people involved, participating, sharing their progress. It creates shared experience and excitement around your brand.
That's a great way to get people invested. What about reaching new people, expanding the community?
Collaboration can be really powerful here. Partnering up with other, maybe complementary small businesses, or even micro-influencers.
Micro-influencers. So not necessarily huge celebrities, but people with smaller, really engaged followings in your specific niche.
Exactly. Their audience trusts them. So partnering could be a joint Instagram Live, maybe swapping story shoutouts, co-hosting a giveaway. Look for accounts whose values align with yours and whose audience matches your ideal customer profile.
Smart. Find authentic fits. And finally, you need to actually listen to the community you're building, right? See what's working.
Oh, absolutely. Monitoring feedback is essential. Read the comments, track your mentions, see which posts get the most likes, shares, saves, comments. What resonates?
How do you track that?
Most platforms have built-in analytics dashboards that give you a lot of data, and there are more comprehensive third-party tools too, like Hootsuite or Sprout Social. As you grow,
And use that data.
use that feedback. Treat it as invaluable insight. Be prepared to adjust your strategy. If people love your behind-the-scenes stories, do more. If a certain type of post falls flat, maybe rethink it or try a different angle. It's a constant learning process.
That makes sense. The source material also shared some really good case studies, didn't it? Real-world examples of pitfalls and successes. Let's dig into those lessons.
Yeah, these practical examples really hammer home the advice. That case study about the restaurant that just ignored their DMs.
Oh yeah, that was painful.
It's such a powerful reminder that being responsive isn't just, nice manners. It can directly hit your bottom line. Missing reservation requests because nobody's checking the inbox. That's lost business, plain and simple.
Aye.
And frustrated potential customer.
Definitely a cautionary tale about being present. But then there was the flip side, the niche jewelry maker who totally embraced user-generated content. That was inspiring.
So inspiring. Started small, but built this amazing community and boosted sales just by consistently finding and reposting customer photos, giving them credit. It shows how your customers can become your best marketers.
Turns customers into advocates. Love
Yeah,
that.
exactly. And that final case study, the agency with the inconsistent brand voice.
Right. They were trying to be everything to everyone.
Yeah, and ended up sounding like nothing specific. It really underlines why that style guide we talked about is so important. Once they clarified their voice, stuck to it consistently, their engagement went way up.
It really proves that both the visual and the verbal consistency are key for building recognition, building trust.
Absolutely, they work hand in hand.
These real-world examples offer such valuable perspective. Okay, so we've covered the foundations, the identity, the content, the community building. What about taking things further? As the brand grows, how does the social strategy evolve?
Right, because social media isn't static, so your strategy can't be either. Once you've got that solid organic foundation, you might start thinking about strategically investing in some paid social media ads.
Paid growth. That can feel like a big leap for a new business, maybe expensive.
It doesn't have to be. You don't need a massive budget. Even a modest investment, say $50 or $100 a month to start, can make a real difference if it's targeted well.
So the targeting is key.
Absolutely. Explore things like lookalike audiences, platforms, find users similar to your existing engaged followers, or retargeting ads, showing ads specifically to people who've already visited your website or interacted with your brand. Much more efficient use of budget.
That sounds like a smarter way to approach paid ads. What about the content itself as you grow? Does that change?
You should aim to deepen your storytelling. Go beyond just product features. Really lean into delivering consistent value and humanize the brand even more.
How do you mean humanize?
Share more authentic stories, maybe the founder's journey, the ups and the downs, behind-the-scenes glimpses of how things are made or how your team works. Celebrate customer milestones or successes. Let people see the real people behind the logo.
Building that stronger emotional connection, moving beyond just transactions.
Precisely. And another thing, don't be afraid to jump on new formats early.
Oh, like when Instagram launches Reels or LinkedIn launches newsletters.
Exactly. Platforms often give a bit of an algorithmic boost to content using their newest features because they want people to adopt them. So even if it feels a bit experimental, testing those new tools early can give you a valuable edge, extra visibility.
That's a great tactical tip, be an early adopter sometimes. Okay, and as things really start humming along, the workload increases. How do you manage it all?
Yeah, that's a good problem to have, right? But you need a plan. As you grow, seriously consider delegating some tasks. Maybe train a team member to help manage social media.
Or outsource.
Or outsource, yeah. Things like graphic design, maybe copywriting for captions, even just the scheduling part.
Yeah.
Handing those off to freelancers or an agency can free you up to focus on the bigger picture, the strategy, the high-level engagement, the relationship building.
Focus on your core strengths. Okay, wow. This has been an incredibly thorough deep dive into building a business brand on social media, literally from scratch.
We covered a lot.
We did. And it feels clear that, it doesn't demand massive budgets or celebrity endorsements to get started. What it does demand is that clarity of purpose, that consistency, and a real genuine commitment to connecting with people.
That's at the heart of it, really. We talked about defining your why, getting your visual and verbal identity tight, crafting that content strategy with pillars, and really prioritizing community over just follower numbers.
Yeah, that community aspect feels so important, building real connections.
It's what leads to sustainable success online, I think. not just fleeting attention.
So for you listening, if you're eager to get started or maybe revamp things, the key takeaways seem to be: choose your platforms wisely, develop those core content pillars, and commit to actually engaging, talking with your audience, not just at them, even if it's just dedicating a specific chunk of time each day.
And be ready to learn and adapt. Watch your analytics, listen to the feedback, see what resonates, and don't be afraid to tweak your approach. It's an ongoing process.
Absolutely. Your brand story online, it's really just beginning. And that consistent, thoughtful effort you put into social media, it will lead to growth, meaningful growth.
Couldn't agree more.
And hey, if you are looking for that little extra boost, that head start on gaining momentum, don't forget about resources like rapidboost.net. They've got tools and support designed to help with exactly that.
Worth checking out if you want to accelerate.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Go out there, build your brand authentically, share your unique story, and start connecting with your future customers in the digital world. You've got this.